I love a fresh slate feeling, and that is why I love Reset Week. Reset Week is the final week of any quarter, and it's my opportunity to get cool, calm, and collected for the quarter coming up. So looking ahead to the new period, setting and planning my goals, and making sure that I can hit the ground running, knowing what it is I want to work on and how I'm going to be making progress. Coming into Reset Week, I already have my plan of the things that I want to do to get that cool, calm, collected feeling. Stuff like organizing my schedule, setting an ideal weekly routine for myself, making a personal curriculum for myself, and dealing with my mop. But in order to get started, we need to go back to Monday morning. Good morning, happy Monday, happy Reset Week. I'm very much excited for getting cool, calm, and collected for the quarter ahead, but of course there are other things that need to be done. So this morning I have already showered, gotten myself ready for the day, mostly. I've put my first load of laundry on because today I'm going to be doing all of the laundry, and I have also acquired breakfast, which of course is overnight oats. Delicious. I might just keep with overnight oats for honestly the entire quarter four because it's easy and I like it. And it's customizable so you can have different flavors. Anyway, on the cards for today is primarily work tasks because as part of Reset Week, work still happens. So really it's about getting the minimum amount of work done for the week so that I can still have a bunch of other blocks of time to do other stuff. That does mean primarily video editing for the last vlog, but if I'm quick about it, maybe I can get on to editing another video. I often find that the later in the week that I do my editing, the longer the editing actually takes. If I started on Monday where I'm feeling just a little more refreshed because, you know, coming off the weekend or whatever, then my efforts are better used. Like I'm faster about it because my energy is kind of higher and I'm more in it. Last week I did make this general schedule for myself and I was kind of assuming like, you know, day prep would start at 7:30 every day. But this morning I woke up before 7 and I figured, you know what, instead of just like lounging around in bed, I'm just gonna get started with the day. So it's currently like in this 7:30 block or 7:46 at the moment. And I've already done the majority of what the day prep tasks would be. So I'm just gonna get started on editing a little earlier. I think this week I'm just gonna lean into getting up a little bit earlier because at the end of the week, the daylight savings time changes over, and based on where I am, we are springing forward, which means that 7:30 a.m. will now be 8:30 a.m. So the time that I should be waking up is 6:30 a.m. Time math is the worst math, I swear. Hopefully you get what I mean though. The regular time that I will have to get up will, for the body, be like an hour earlier. So if I can lean into the idea of getting up early now, it'll be less of a shock on the body come the end of the week. All of the tasks that I want to do to reset, I've written out on this layout, but I also need to write myself a daily task list so that I know specifically what I'm doing today. So once I finish my breakfast, that will be the first port of call. In terms of that task list writing, I'm just writing out anything and everything I can think of that I want to do today, but also maybe want to do later in the week. Though those later in the week tasks are going on my quote tasks list, which is on my kind of weekly dashboard. If there's anything that I want to write down that I'm not actually sure I want to action this week, but I do need it to be written down somewhere, that will just go in the daily list as well. Come the end of this week, I'll be moving into a new journal, so I'll be transferring any of those unfinished tasks into that one, or scrapping them if they're not actually relevant anymore. The list is looking good, and I'm feeling like just a little bit less of a scatterbrained mess, which is kind of nice. But we have about an hour until the Epic Goals work along. This is a work along kind of like co-working session that we do every week, just to get in, take some actions on our goals and such. For me, given my goal for the week is resetting, and part of that is minimum work, I'm going to be doing work. But what I'm also trying to use Reset Week for is getting kind of like a head start on some of my habits and routines that I'm hoping to build in quarter four. I gave myself a little routine tracker on my Reset Week dashboard to keep track of these things. And compared to last week, my tracking list is quite a bit shorter. That's because I've eliminated all of the things that I've decided, you know what, I'm not keeping track of them for the rest of the quarter. We only have 1 week left. I'm giving myself a break from them. And I've introduced all of the ones that I want to track next quarter. So we have waking up with my alarm, or before it, like today. And that means essentially if my alarm goes off, you're getting out of bed. You're not lounging around in bed, letting yourself get sucked into a Reels hole and like not doing anything with the rest of your morning. That kind of like delayed start on the day, a form of procrastination that I often fall into. Another one is setting a daily highlight for myself. This is essentially just saying what is the most important piece of work or most important thing that I want to do in the day. Sometimes it's work, sometimes it's fun. Depends on the day. We have drinking 1 liter of water, which I have definitely slipped on in the past couple of weeks, and the body is feeling it. She's thirsty, she's parched, she needs more hydration. For this week, I'm also going to be tracking keeping my work boundaries, so making sure that I'm not working in the evening, which I will let myself do if I'm not careful about things. Having some intentional leisure time each day, so this isn't so much just like scrolling my phone unless I have actively decided that that's what I'm going to do. It needs to be an intentional choice, not just like a, oh, I fell into this. Because oftentimes if I just fell into it, it's not restful. And then the sixth one I have is tracking my food, because I have also definitely fallen off on that and been eating quite poorly because of it. It's like, oh, if it's not tracked, then it doesn't count, right? The body would disagree. The body is not feeling great. The body would like a vegetable. One of the things that I'm also mindful of is just because it's reset week, it doesn't mean the quarter is over and there's still time to take action on goals. And one of my goals is getting 8,000 steps a day on average. That means I don't necessarily have to get 8,000 steps every single day, but across the entire of the quarter, I want to make sure I'm getting 8,000 average. As part of that, I have been trying to do a daily walk and successfully have achieved that, but it's looking pretty soggy outside today, so I don't think I want to walk outside. That's okay, that's what I have a walking pad for, but in terms of doing that walk, I'm gonna leave it to the afternoon because this week I'm also trialing doing my exercise in the afternoon intentionally, as opposed to just like shirking my responsibilities in the morning and being like, well, I want to keep the streak alive, so I'll just do it later. This week I have intentionally planned it so it's in the afternoon because I want to kind of see if I could use that as a signal to myself that work is over for the day. So it's like I work up until a certain point, I do my exercise, and then we are into the evening where there's no more work. That's the idea at least. For now though, I'm gonna go strip the bed because I want to wash the sheets. Transferring the footage of my phone for last week's vlog. It reckons there's a bit of time remaining. Hopefully that's just a bad estimate. But I figured that since my phone is plugged in, one of my tasks for reset week is to kind of do a tidy up of my digital files. Given I have to wait for that, and I'm already on my computer, and my phone's already plugged in, I figured I might as well just do that now. Like, yes, I scheduled it for later in the week because I scheduled it with a bunch of other things, but I just want to make the most of my time today, and it's not like I can start editing until I actually have the video files. I'm not going to do all the digital tasks, but at least the backing up of files and such, I need to get them off my phone before I can back them up, and I can also start to remove some folder entropy, which isn't too tough. The second load of laundry is now on, my phone is feeling clean and fresh and ready to tackle the next quarter. Though of course I've only taken the photos and videos off my phone and now they're just sitting in a messy folder on my computer. It's cool. That's still progress we can be proud of. And now as all that stuff is transferred, it's time for the Epic Goals work along and thus editing. Hello. Yeah, pretty good. How are you? What meal are we prepping for? I've at least measured out all of my dry ingredients and wet ingredients for breakfast, but I haven't combined them. So that's kind of like a do every couple of days kind of project. Yeah, otherwise I have to get all the measuring cups out again throughout the week and I'm just like, ugh, too hard basket. Our footage total for this week is 4 hours, 36 minutes and 47 seconds. So despite being hopeful that I can get this done in a timely manner, that is definitely longer than last week, but we'll have to wait and see because we all know that Jess's time estimates are poor anyways, so there's no point in actually trying to figure out how long this might take me. Let's just get it done. Editing the vlog is definitely a slow and steady wins the race type process, and I essentially found that it took me roughly 45-ish minutes to edit one day. So by the end of our Epic Goals work along, I had gotten to the end of Friday. The work along ended up going for 4 hours today rather than the typical like 2 to 3 hours. So lots of work done, lots of progress made. I'll be doing the Saturday and Sunday after lunch, but now it is time to go get some food. My intention for lunches this week was just have Snackle Plate, which is essentially just putting together some bits and pieces that are kind of snack-esque foods, but more so in the realm of like healthier things. But I do also have half a can of corn in the fridge, so now I kind of just want 2-minute noodles. Plus I definitely don't want to be eating those 2-minute noodles next quarter, so I might as well finish them now, right? I am very much the kind of person who's like, oh, I want to go on a new health journey. Let's eat all the snacks in the house. And I definitely have a lot of snacks in my house. It's okay, I'm not gonna go for a snack binge, but maybe just some noodles. Lunch finished and one work block later, the vlog is done and is exporting, which means I have 2 hours left to get more work done. I am going to get my live stream for Thursday set up so that then that one is ready to release, and then by that point hopefully it will have finished exporting. I can make a thumbnail, get it uploaded, and do something else. That one has been uploaded now, and we have the watch page for the live stream sorted. So now I just need to go and put a post up for the channel members so that they know it's happening. That post is sorted, and I managed to get on to starting the voiceover for my October plan with me. So I'm feeling very accomplished today, but as it is reset week, and the whole point is getting cool, calm, and collected for the quarter ahead, one of the big parts of that is rest, which means I am going to be holding my work boundary. I am not going to be working past 5:30 today, which means given that Shishmexa has told me that it's 5:20, I'm gonna write a task list for tomorrow so that tomorrow Jess can also be productive. We have a list. I'm feeling good about it. And I'm gonna take myself downstairs to do some exercise in a second because I want to keep the streak alive. We're on day like 120 or something-ish. Maybe 121. I don't know. But in the idea of getting to an average of at least 8,000 steps every day for the entire of the challenge, I did go and calculate what my average step count is at the moment. Here's my data across the challenge. Just ignore that it's a bunch of numbers that probably don't make any sense. But this is essentially like the running total. So averages from the last however many weeks and then individual ones from last week. This is how many steps I've done thus far across the challenge. This is how many days there are in the challenge. And thus this is what my average is looking like at the moment. These numbers are the ones that actually matter though. So this one here, 6,153. That is the minimum number of steps I need to get each day. Well, 6,154 if I want to get the same number of steps each day for the rest of this week and actually come in at 8,000. So to be safe, let's just say that I need to get 6,200 each day this week to get 8,000 average over all daily steps for the challenge. Or I could just hit 8,000, but 6,200 is easier. I only have 2,220 for today so far though, so time to get stepping. And put on the next load of laundry because the towels will not wash themselves, sadly. I think a miracle has happened because I just got the drying out of the dryer, which is, you know, sheets, and none of them got tangled up. Everything is actually dry, nothing got caught in the corners of the fitted sheet, nothing got shoved into the duvet cover or anything. Oh my gosh. Knock on wood, I sincerely hope I haven't jinxed it because it at least all feels dry and nothing was tangled up and all the pillowcases are accounted for. I'm just feeling very positive. Walking went well and then Vogel and I had a very tasty dinner with some Stranger Things. We had steak and broccoli and bread and then I fell into a snacksident. So many snacks. I am definitely full. It was very much a case of like food noise and you're like, oh, that thing's open. I should eat it. I should finish it. If it's gone, then I won't be a problem anymore. I'm not feeling great about my choices, but the choices have been made, so I'm not going to beat myself up about it. Tomorrow is a new day. We will do better then. And at least now as I'm upstairs, I'm probably safe from more snacking. What I do need to do though is make the bed so there's actually somewhere to do my cozy reading, because that is what my intentional leisure for today is going to be. I'm going to be reading my book, the one I'm doing for the Sisterhood of the Traveling Book Project, where I annotate it, then I pass it to Rachel, she annotates it, then she passes it to Monica, she annotates it. I love this story. I'm enjoying it thoroughly, but in order to have somewhere to read, I do need to make the bed. The most fun part is trying to rotate the mattress by yourself, but I am getting there. It's just taking me a second. Yay, all made up, cozy reading spot. But first I should probably put my laundry away. I know it won't take long, I'm just feeling about it, but the sooner I do it, the sooner I can read. So let's do it. Because more than anything, Reset Week is about taking care of future us, doing things for ourselves that future us is going to be very thankful for. And sometimes taking care of ourselves means doing things we don't want to do, like putting away our laundry. Of course, just because we have to do something doesn't mean we can't enjoy the process. I just put some music on and got all of my laundry put away. It only took about 3 to 4 songs for me to do it. And I got to bop along and get a couple more steps as well. So that's a plus. A self-care / reset task that I'm doing tomorrow that I'm very much looking forward to is defuzzing my face. Feeling a little fuzzy, not gonna lie, don't love it. One day I'll find a more permanent solution, but I haven't really done my research, so for now it's just rip hairs out of face, which is like super pleasant. I think the worst part about waxing in particular is that you have to let it get to a certain length so that then it can actually get ripped out of your face, which doesn't do great for the whole self-esteem thing, but it's cool. Tomorrow won't be a problem. What I also have planned for tomorrow is getting a vaccine, so that's a fun self-care task that I'm like super looking forward to. Okay, not so much, but Vogel and I are going together, so like, hey, couples activity. I personally just hope that after it's done, I'm not feeling like too sore or too meh afterwards, because I would still like tomorrow to be a productive day. Just because it's reset week, it doesn't mean there isn't work to do. And tomorrow has been set aside as a work day. For now though, given the bed has been made and it's looking cozy, it's time to do some reading. A very enjoyable evening reading. I've made it a decent way further through the book than I was before. I mean, like several chapters kind of a thing. I'm not near the end or anything like that. But I think that if I keep it up, I'll probably be close to the end by the end of the week. For now though, given the fact that rest and recuperation is an important part of reset week, I'm gonna go to bed. So good night. Good morning, happy Tuesday. It is currently 6:53. We are up, we are showered, we are preparing our overnight oats so that we can have a tasty breakfast. And then once I eat that, I'll probably just get straight into work. The body woke up at like 5:50 this morning and I just decided to lean into it because if I wake up earlier this week, then when it comes to Sunday and the time change, the body will be on the right time. in theory. That's my working theory. On the cards for today though, we have voiceovering for the October Plan With Me video, we have a podcast episode to record, we have errands out of the house, for instance, the face defuzzing, an eyelash tint, and my vaccine. And I also need to make sure I go and pick up my repeat prescription because I put that one in because I'm running out of medication. But first, breakfast. Breakfast went well and now it is time to get to work. We are going to be doing some filming and then some editing. Need to film the close-ups for this one, so got the blinding lights straight in my face, which totally matches the blinding grayness of outside. Looks like it's going to be another exercise on the walking pad kind of day. It's time to go. I'm feeling good about this. I'm hoping that it doesn't take too long so that I'm not late to my vaccination appointment. I'm a little worried about that because they are in different places and one of them is due to finish at 10 and the other one is booked for 10. That is my personal poor planning. I understand this, but I just hope it turns out okay. One thing I definitely need to get better at is putting my wallet back where it belongs so that I don't kind of get into a panic before I'm supposed to leave the house because I can't find it. It's okay, I've got it now. Let's go.
Yay! Vaccine!
Stabbing.
Back from our little adventure now and getting set up to start recording the podcast episode, but I did grab some goodies and I wanted to show you. One, a 1 litre water bottle because my regular water bottle, little too big to tote around when I'm going walking. This one, much more reasonably sized. And I got it in green because I'm like into green right now. I've decided that green might actually be my favorite color. I don't know. Don't hold me to that. But two, I also got this green lunchbox. Not that I need a lunchbox, but I do like to use these kind of things to store pens and other supplies in, and I thought it was a cute pattern, and it's green, and it's cute. Three, a tiny ghostie that kind of looks like the adipose monsters from Doctor Who, but that doesn't matter. It's super, super cute, and it's going to be going on my shelf with my other plushy things. And four, a little skeleton plushie. Ah, too dang cute. I feel like this might be a permanent fixture on the shelf, not just like a spooky time fixture on the shelf, but I thought it was pretty gorgeous. For now though, it is time to close the curtains and turn on the lights because we need to record a podcast. Podcast recording is done, just need to take a thumbnail and then get back to editing. Because ideally I want to have my Saturday video edited today so that then I don't have to do any editing tomorrow. Because tomorrow I kind of want to move on from work-related tasks and do more goal-related tasks. Resetting, reflecting, all of the good things. But also, I can cross this off of my future me problems list because that one is done. Meaning I am now at 59 items completed. Hehe. That one is done and it's exporting now. And according to my plan, which totally didn't account for going out and getting my jabbining this morning, but anyway, I'm supposed to be onto newsletter writing now. That one is technically doable, but usually I write on an online platform and my internet's out right now. So I can either write in a Word document or I could make it a future Jess problem. Honestly, that is kind of tempting. The only problem being that the next task is supposed to be populating my finance tracker, and that one also requires me to get online to get data. It's okay, I'll figure out something, but for now, I'll just be a little bit annoyed. I've decided that in the interest of making the best use of my time possible, I am going to start doing my goal setting now, because I already have a list of most goals that I want to work on, but I haven't done my reflection for Q3. Yes, Q3 is not quite over, so I might still have a couple things to add come the end of the week, but I think getting started on the process now would still be good for me. While I typically like to do my mid-cycle and end-of-cycle reflections in my everyday journal, when it comes to my quarterly reflections and like goal setting, getting really specific about the progress I've made and all that, I do those in my goal planner instead. For this reflection process though, I want to have a hot drink. I want to get kind of like, you know, comfy and cozy, feeling all reflective and stuff. I just want to make it a nice experience, which, given the fact that the only music I have is through Spotify, and Spotify is an internet application, can't listen to anything, so I'm going to try my darndest to make everything else feel cozy and comfortable and inviting. Got my favorite mug, and we're gonna have a little vanilla chai latte. the reflection, we just have like what the goals were, what their status is, wins, progress, achievements, and then anything that I've neglected or avoided or just kind of like been ignoring. And then flipping over, we've got all of my learnings from the past quarter and my level 10 life. This one is essentially taking each of the categories of life and rating them out of 10. And I've seen that all of them either stay the same or increased, which is really decent, especially considering last quarter, most of them either stayed the same or decreased. Like we had a couple that went up, but most of them weren't looking too good. The next step is to pick my goals for next quarter, and I have started writing out some ideas of those, but I'm not necessarily completely done with that list. What I actually want to do is go through my proper kind of brainstorming process, which I usually kind of reserve for either the mid-year or the start of year kind of period. So coming into a new year, really getting quite reflective about what are the things I really love in life, what are my challenges, pain points, and kind of like leaning into those, really kind of considering what I could work on that would bring me more joy, more happiness, deal with pain points. Normally when I go from quarter 1 to 2 or quarter 3 to 4, I don't do that process in quite as much detail or as much depth. But after having had such a positive quarter 3 in terms of goal progress and such, like having such a decent list of things that are actually done, I thought it might be nice to do a little bit of soul searching. I've got my spot to do my brainstorm, and I'm going to be using the questions in the Epic Goals Goal Planning Workbook. Oh yes. Notably, that workbook is part of the Epic Goals system, which is what I use to set, plan, and achieve my goals each quarter. So I'm just going to go through the questions in there, and instead of writing the answers in the workbook, I'm just going to write them in my goal planner. I've made pretty decent progress on that, but we do need to go out and get groceries. Typically, groceries would be done on a Tuesday morning. Vogel would go do them before he started work, but because I had morning appointments and then we were off getting our vaccines and stuff, it hasn't quite happened yet. So we're going to do that now and go and get some dinner.
You're such a doofus.
What do you mean?
It's just nothing to do with it. I love it. Don't get dead.
Alright. Good job, you.
You got the other bag?
Yep. And he's gone. Film the sparkle tree.
Oh, well, you see, Jess, it's actually 20k, but...
Dinner has been had. Vogel and I are watching Stranger Things, and I'm gonna get on the walking pad because I want to keep the streak alive. Exercise done. Vogel and I watched one episode of Stranger Things, and we're gonna watch another one in bed. But before we get to that, I want to finish my goal brainstorm and write my official goals list for quarter 4. I love a goals list. I love the kind of possibilities that come with it. Like looking ahead, thinking about the progress that you could make across the next period, whether that's a quarter or a year or whatever time frame you like to use. And especially after the progress and successes of quarter 3, I'm very excited for what quarter 4 could possibly offer. Now as my internet is working again, I'm just gonna put on some nice calming Spotify in the background and write my lists. Officially got my goal list written out for quarter 4, feeling very positive about it. And I have started to go through and epic score them. So that's going through and rating them based on their enjoyability, practicality, impact, and challenge. Higher the number, better the goal. Or at least the more likely that I'm going to actually get it done. Because most of the time, we're not going to be so inclined to work on things that aren't so enjoyable, or at least we don't foresee them being enjoyable. They're probably not all that practical. They won't really make an impact, and they're either way too challenging or so incredibly not challenging that they're essentially boring, and the brain is going to be like, no. I will finish epic scoring them tomorrow, but for now, Vogel and I are going to watch that second episode of Stranger Things. Not second in the sense of like going back to the second episode of the season and rewatching it, because that'd be a choice, but more so the next episode. I don't know how many we're through. I think we're up to episode 6 now. Should be good. We watched the episode and now we've decided to make poor choices and watch another one. So we're gonna do that, but then by the time it's over, it's essentially gonna be lights off and go to sleep time. So I'm gonna just say good night. Good morning. Happy Wednesday. The sun is shining straight into my eye holes. It's fine. We'll return to the dead of solitude soon. No, probably not. It's actually quite pleasant. But on the cards for today, given the fact that I didn't get to do my financial resetting kind of tasks yesterday, I'm probably going to prioritize those this morning, mainly because they're not so fun. I'd like to get them out of the way. Really, all it actually involves is going and populating my finance tracker and then making sure I've logged my tax information. Where are my oats? hiding behind a bag of slaw. And then with the rest of the day, I'm probably going to just do goal setting stuff. So planning out my goals properly, making sure I know what tasks need to be done on which weeks, at the very least for week 1 and 2. We don't have to have a fully completed plan to get started, but knowing where to start is usually helpful. I have a pretty similar number of goals compared to quarter 3, so probably it'll take up about the same amount of space and time, though a lot of those goals and projects are distinctly different. For instance, no more wedding, but yes, we have Vlogmas. Kind of different types of events, but kind of the same size. Before that though, we of course have to prepare the breakfast. I went to the supermarket yesterday to find more of this and it's gone again. I thought I was doing the right thing by getting 3 jars of it. This is my last jar. I'm like, you better bring it back before I run out because otherwise, devastato. Look at how clean and tidy that downloads folder is. But essentially those 3 files there are just from my various accounts. To do my budget population, I just download those files and then transfer them over into my converter. Essentially, I copy all of the data into this section here, and then it takes out the relevant information, categorizes it and such, so I can log it into my finance tracker. My main tracker is over here. It just has like the date, what the thing was, a comment about it, the category I want to put it in, the amount, and then a space for a receipt if I need it, and any notes. All of those values then get totaled up across the year, and it has some little kind of in-cell graphs so I can see relative amounts between the different months and such. And normally it doesn't take all that long because it's literally just like copy data over, check through to make sure that everything has the right categories and the right names and whatever else, and then actually putting that into the tracker. The issue is I haven't done this since the start of August or somewhere in August, maybe mid-August, which means there is going to be a bit of checking to do, but I'm just going to set myself a little timer to hold me to account and get it done. This is taking a little bit longer than usual, but I am getting towards the end, mainly because the way that it works is that when I download the data from my banking app, essentially it already has the details of type, details, particulars, code, and reference or whatever. My converter is set up so that it takes that information and it goes and picks out the ones that it's familiar with because I've told it how to actually like associate different phrases to different things. But because we've been doing a lot of new stuff over the past month and a half, you know, with charges for the wedding or going different places, like different eateries and stuff like that. And sometimes because the places we go to frequently change their systems and such, it means that the actual kind of like phrasing of different pieces of information is slightly different compared to what it would usually be. So I just have to go through and effectively tell the spreadsheet what links to make. So for instance, if you see a charge that says Woolworths N, that means that you should put in the comment of Woolworths. You should put in the category of groceries, and you can tell me that I don't need a receipt. The nice part is you only have to set that kind of stuff up once, and then every time it comes up on your statements, it'll just pull that data across nice and easy. But because there are a lot of charges that are different to what we've previously done or they're new in some way, it means that there's a little bit more admin required. That's okay though. At this stage there are only 4 charges that I'm just like, what is this? I know it's something that I paid for, I just don't remember what it was, and thus another reminder that I should be doing this in a more timely manner because the charges are from like the end of July, the middle of August, and kind of 10 days ago. And even the 10-day ago one, I'm just like, what's that? Thankfully it's only $12.14, but I'm like, that's a really weird number. Anyway, the next stage for finances though is to go and track my information that's for tax purposes with my tax people. I need to go and log all of my business or work related expenses with them so that they can do with that information what they do. I'm not a tax person, I'm not very good at tax stuff, and that's why I have somebody else do it, because otherwise I'd probably get done for tax fraud because I just stuffed something up because the system is way too complicated. I promise, Mr. Taxman, it wasn't on purpose. I just don't know what to do. It's okay, I only have 33 charges that I need to account for. And this is why I put this off, because this job is not fun, but it is necessary. A mere hour later, I have at least downloaded all the receipts, and now I need to log them. That shouldn't take too long. I shouldn't even say that. I should not put that juju out into the world because now it's gonna take forever. I'm sure it'll be okay. Fingers crossed. It's going well. I'm almost done. I'm like at least 2/3 of the way through, and it's only been about 15 minutes, but I got distracted because the rest of my wedding photos came through, and now I'm just sitting here being like, wah! I might be just a little bit biased, but these pictures are great. I'm so glad that we got Jamie to take our photos. She did such a good job. Anyways, do your tax logging, then you can look at your pictures. Huzzah, I got them all logged. Now I just need to wait for them to be approved. I have this not ideal response anytime something doesn't get approved because I'm like, no, this is supposed to be logged, this is fine. And then I go in and it's usually like, oh, you haven't listed the right date for the receipt, or something really minor like that. But because it takes me a lot of effort to get these things in there, I'm always like, anytime things don't go 100% smoothly. We can cross those ones off the list though, huzzah. And then it's plan Q3 finance review. That one doesn't require a lot of planning, really is just show up. So we're gonna cross that one off as well. I'm just gonna make sure that I've actually logged it on my calendar though, so that it happens. Can confirm that finance meeting is now scheduled. I say meeting, it's really not that formal. It's just Vogel and I sitting together, looking through our finances, making sure that we're not overspending in any category, or making sure that we've got like our mind on any big expenses that might be coming up, anything like that. Just so that we've got like, you know, finger on the pulse or whatnot when it comes to our financial well-being. Now though, I want to write myself a list of things to do today because I haven't actually done that yet. And according to my schedule, it's mainly going to be around goals. So yesterday I went through and brainstormed my goals in terms of what I want to do, but I haven't planned them yet. And the planning is so important. This is where we get really granular with it. We get into the action steps, but also thinking about when we're going to do those steps so they actually get done. I'm not thinking that I need to map out the entire of Q4 or anything like that, but at least having the first 2 weeks, that would be good, because then at least I can hit the ground running with things. Especially when you're looking to work on a list that is this long, it's good to make sure that you've mapped out when you want to do particular tasks for particular goals and projects. Otherwise, stuff just slips. You get to the end of the quarter being like, oh, okay, cool. Guess that didn't happen. I have done a little bit of mapping out for myself, especially given the fact that Change Your Life ends up being a video series. So just mapping out what weeks there are, what kind of things might be happening in those weeks, what I might want to do in terms of goals in those weeks. It is definitely not finished, but at least it's something. The list officially exists, even if it doesn't actually have a header just yet. But it is time to skedoodle because we're going to be starting the midweek Mafia hangout just a little bit earlier than usual. Okay, I'm just about to get in the car, but most excitingly, my phone plan has officially been switched over. I can send text messages again, and hopefully it means I can also use data when I leave the house because I want to listen to my Spotify in the car, and I only have one playlist downloaded, should probably remedy that, and I'm getting a little sick of it because I haven't had internet on my phone for several days now. Progress! But also very excitingly, that means that we have done 60% of the Future Me problems. 60% of the list is either completed or scrapped, it's like checked off, dealt with or whatnot. That does mean we still have 40 tasks left to do. Don't think I'm gonna get them done before the end of the week, but still. Yay! Rachel has been acquired. We ended up just getting some Subway for lunch, hanging out, chilling, chatting. Notably have already gotten ourselves set up for journaling time, but we need to keep the streak alive, which means it is exercise time. And rather than me walking on the walking pad by myself like Sad Guy, we're gonna take a walk around the block. I also printed off some Q4 calendars for myself so that I can do some Q4 planning in terms of events and work scheduling and all of that kind of thing. But first, walking time. Enjoyable evening with my friends. It's always just really nice to have that intentional time in the middle of the week to catch up with them, have that kind of like social element that really is something that is energy giving for me. I find hanging out with people to be an energy giving activity, so that's always kind of a nice midweek pick me up. What's most exciting though is that we did go and plan our Q4 kind of social gatherings, not to like the full extent of having a play-by-play of like itineraries or anything, but we at least know general dates and general times for things. So for instance, we have book club planning coming up next weekend. We've got my birthday coming up. We're going to be having a little like Has Been Hotel season 2 watch party. Obviously there's going to be Halloween. We're going to have Friendsgiving, Friendmas or like Friend Christmas, and also New Year's Eve celebrations. So a good kind of sprinkling of different social events that we can look forward to. It's always good to have things to look forward to on your calendar. For now though, I'm going to tidy up my stuff and shuffle upstairs. I think I might do a little bit of journaling before we get into bed because we are onto the last episode of Stranger Things season 1. It'd be nice to finish that up if we can. I don't know what Vogel's doing though, so he might be like, but we'll see. Vogel and I ended up watching the final episode of season 1 of Stranger Things, so we've only got 3 more seasons until we've done the full recap, but we've got until December to do that. For now though, it is time to go to bed because it's 11:45. Yep. Good night. Good morning. Happy Thursday. Not gonna lie, I'm actually feeling just a little bit discombobulated this morning, mainly because yesterday's plans didn't quite go according to plan. With starting the midweek Mafia hangout a little bit early, it meant that I didn't get my things that I had already scheduled for myself done. So technically speaking, in terms of reset plans, I'm a little behind, but it's cool. We've still got time. I can catch up. On the cards for today though, we have the live stream where we're going to be doing some goal planning, and I had intended to have done some goal planning before that. So essentially have already picked out a couple goals that I specifically wanted to plan on the live stream with people, but have the rest of them mainly done. It's kind of more like I have the goals picked and none of them planned. So the first port of call after organizing breakfast today is going to be selecting which goals in particular we plan on the live stream and then get prepped for the live stream. It would be nice to do as much of my goal planning today as I possibly can, but I'm gonna have to go and check my schedule because honestly, I can't remember what I had scheduled for yesterday that didn't get done, and I can't remember what I had scheduled for today. I also need to make sure I make more overnight oats today because this is the last one that I had prepared. Having a look at the schedule I set up for myself, I did do a little bit of updating to account for the errands and appointments, but still this isn't actually a perfect reflection of what has been going on, because we did finance tracking and all of that kind of stuff yesterday, but then all of this stuff in the middle kind of got taken out because midweek Mafia got pushed forward, or back? No, I got pushed forward. That's how it works. I know how time works. Some of these tasks happened, like planning the fun social events for Q4, that definitely happened, but in terms of journal population and planning meal prep options, those haven't happened. Digital backups and house tasks haven't happened, and the kind of scheduling tasks also haven't happened. So given how many like individual pieces are in here, it's like, oh no. But it's cool because we still have a whole bunch of space and time over here, and I've got some open time on Sunday. So for today, we are currently doing our day prep, getting ready for the day and such. We'll have our live stream where we'll do some goal planning, and then I had scheduled to have exercise directly after that because I have a hair appointment later. It's been a hot minute since I had a haircut. My mop is looking particularly mop-like, so I think that at least a little bit of a trim would be nice. I'm the kind of person who, whenever I go to the hairdresser for a haircut, I definitely want to come out feeling like it looks different. So I'm like, no, not like a couple centimeters, like let's take off some inches. Okay, we might not go that drastic, but I am looking forward to having something a little bit different compared to this. I figured they might want to work with dry hair, that's why it's not tied back today, but eventually it'll probably annoy me and I'll tie it back. I've also been going through my reset week plan and just looking at all the tasks I have done so far. In terms of the tasks that have been done, we've got some that are kind of started. I've done the midweek Mafia hangout, obviously, cleared the downloads folder, done a decent chunk on the goal related stuff, just not the planning where the majority of the work is. Finances are looking good, but a lot of other areas still need some addressing. I am at least looking forward to getting through a chunk of those today, but we'll have to wait and see how many actually happen. Probably a good idea to actually write a task list because then they'll be a lot more likely to happen. Alrighty, there we go. That looks like a good enough list, but now it's time to get ready for our stream. Got my stuff set up, the chat is ready, my hair is tied back so it doesn't annoy the ever-loving heck out of me. Let's go. The live stream went really well and I have definitely made progress on planning my goals. We have planned these 3 and then these 4 and then another 2. That does mean I still have about half a list left to go, but progress is progress. For now though, I'm getting kind of peckish, so I'm gonna have an early lunch and then come back to my office and try and do some more of the kind of administrative resetting tasks, like scheduling for Q4, making sure things are on my calendar, thinking about an ideal weekly structure that I want to try and lean into, especially for where my work kind of goals are related, because I do not love working all the time and I've been doing really well not working all the time or working towards not working all the time. I want to maintain that goal for Q4, so having an ideal weekly structure to be kind of like a template for each week for the weeks of Q4 would be quite useful. For now though, lunchtime. On the menu for today, we have leftover Indian food, which doesn't look that appealing, but that's because I took the onion bhaji sauce and put it on the rice, so like and we're watching You Girl. Good times. Lunch is done, which means it's time to start on admin stuff. I'm thinking in particular, I want to do this planning section, so mainly weekly schedule, scheduling recurring events, all of that. Or at least that's what I want to do first, because there's plenty that still needs to be done. The thing with my ideal weekly schedule is that I really kind of tried this quarter to par back on when I was doing my work, trying to kind of condense my work hours. 1, so that I wasn't working all the time, and 2, so that then I had more dedicated free time for other things. Given the fact that work will often expand the amount of time that you give it, so for instance, if you give yourself, you know, like 2 days to get something done, it'll take 2 days to get it done. If you give yourself 2 hours to get it done, you know, within reason, you can probably get it done within 2 hours. Kind of giving ourselves those deadlines. Obviously, it depends on the task at hand. Oftentimes, you can't fit, like, you know, what should be 40 hours worth of work into an 8-hour period, or at least not done in such a way where the work is still good. But because a lot of the time when I give myself an extended period to work on a thing, then that time is often filled with a lot of procrastination. I just wanted to kind of strip the procrastination out of it and get it to the amount of time that reasonably things could be done within and still maintain quality or whatever. So that was the kind of focus for this quarter's weekly structure and the schedule that I gave myself. For next quarter though, I have a different set of goals, so I want my weekly structure to have time for those. Like for instance, one of my goals is going to be reconnecting with my creativity, so I want to have a dedicated time slot on my weekly schedule for creative time. So rather than just having that as leisure or hobby time, it is specifically stated as this is creative time. To make up this ideal weekly schedule, I first went in and just put in the blocks that I know are going to happen at set points in any given week. For instance, the Epic Goals work along and my live stream slot. And then with those big immovable rocks in place, then it was time to think about the other things that I want to include. How much time do I want to dedicate to work? How much time do I want to dedicate to other areas of life? And when would be opportune for those moments to be? I just made this schedule over in Excel because then I'll be moving it into Outlook. So this is where I've gotten to thus far. You can kind of see the difference between quarter 3 and quarter 4. Not just the fact that I used different colors, but initially when I was planning my quarter 3, it was the idea of like, you know, lights out at 10:30, we've got some reading time, solo leisure time on these 2 days, date night, movie night, yada yada. And we've got some overlap between those. So for instance, we've got blue blocks here, then date night, movie night, yada yada. But in particular, I've moved the start of my day to be earlier to kind of align with when I'm waking up at the moment. And I've moved the exercise slot to be at 5 p.m, whereas previously that exercise slot was the first thing in the morning. Will every single week look exactly like this? Probably not, but it gives me a scaffold that I can then build off each week, essentially like taking these larger blocks of time and slotting in tasks that I need to do depending on what work in particular needs to get done. Anything in yellow is kind of like a goal work related time. Anything in this pale red kind of color is physical health related, so we have meal prep and exercise in those colors. Orange is for any kind of like housework, homework type deal, so like home maintenance type things. And then anything in this kind of like pale teal color is for personal leisure. I'm looking forward to trying the new structure, just need to get it into Outlook, so then each week I just build off that template. There we go, that one is scaffolded and now looking super cute and very colorful. I color code based on life area, so anything blue is work, anything teal is leisure, and anything yellow is goals. Sometimes goals is related to work though, so like, you know, this might be a goals block where I work on a work task. We have date night in dark blue, just doesn't look dark blue right now because it's on the other calendar, so you see, ta-da, dark blue, and then purple for social activities. As I actually go and add other things into my calendar space, then I just chop and change the template. So for instance, if I had a social event on Saturday, I would just take those blocks out, put the social event in, and leave that there instead. Or if it fits within those blocks, I can just go and put a title in, because right now, a lot of them don't have titles. Some of them have titles though, because they have the same thing every week, like the Epic work along here, that one has a title, and then the live stream has a title. But I'm looking forward to this new version of this ideal schedule. In particular, the thing I'm interested about is putting a goal block on Monday, because I think that starting my week with some goal work will be kind of fun. Also, because Monday has been editing the vlog, that does mean that I'm going to have less time for vlog editing because I want some of that to be goal time. So I'm going to have to do some pre-editing before I get to that Monday. I was kind of tempted to put in a specific block that says like, you are doing pre-edits here, but I didn't do that. I might just kind of like play it by ear and see what I need in any given week. And if I find that that doesn't work, then maybe I'll go and dedicate like a specific set time for that editing. For now though, I want to go and schedule some recurring events to make sure that I know when those things are happening. In particular, I'm thinking like for work, that'll be book clubs and team hangouts and such. Those aren't all necessarily on the calendar yet. I've already got my blocks for physical health, goal work, and leisure, but I also would like to go and mark in my days off, at least for the first cycle of next quarter, or the first 4 weeks. While it does look like a bit of a mess, it is actually organized now, so I'm feeling good about it. We have the ideal weekly schedule in there, we have the events that I know are coming up logged in there, so now it's time to move on to something different. And in particular, I think I'm going to continue goal planning, because these goals aren't going to plan themselves, especially because I don't want to get stuck into anything I can't just walk away from, because I need to go get my hair done, and that's going to be happening in about an hour, and I still have to get to the place. So we also need to account for travel in that too. I should probably look up how far away it is, because I have this thing where anytime I need to go somewhere, especially a new place, in my mind it's either 5 minutes away or it's a half hour away. There is no in between, and that can sometimes be a little problematic. For instance, when I went and got face and lashes done the other day, I'm like, oh yeah, that's 5 minutes away. It was not, it was 15. Thankfully I left with a little bit of time to spare though, so that was actually okay in the end. But I'm pretty sure this one is actually 5 minutes away. Yeah, that one's 2 minutes away, so we're good. But I still need to be mindful of the fact that I have to leave the house to get there and, you know, find parking, actually get in and such, so we'll call it 5 minutes. That means I have just a little under an hour to do my goal planning. I managed to get 3 more goal plans in, or at least partially in. Some of them definitely need some more work. But for now, I need to get my stuff together so that I can go and get my hair done. I actually don't know what I want them to do with it in terms of a haircut, so let's just be surprised together. Is looking straight, my hair is looking treated, which is very exciting, but I don't know if my time math is bad or just they were backed up or something. We couldn't get the cut done, so the cut is going to happen tomorrow instead. It's cool, it's still the same amount of money, it's just spread over 2 separate bookings. For now though, it is date night, so I need to skedoodle into town safely but quickly so that I can pick up Vogel and we can hopefully still make our booking. Most enjoyable date night, but now it is time to keep the streak alive. It's time for exercise. Thus, I've got my hair out of my face so we can do a thing. I'm just gonna do some walking and we're gonna start season 2 of Stranger Things. So haha, double plus good. I can confirm the streak has been kept alive. The walk is done. I only went for about 22 minutes this time because after having such a lovely dinner and then also it being late, I'm like, I don't want to walk, not really. So tokenistic walk done. In terms of my hair appointment today, yes, I did book in for treatment and cut. Totally misread the time length for treatment, so they did that and I'm like, I have to go. I thought it was only supposed to be an hour. It was like a 2-hour thing, and then the haircut would happen on top of that. So that was my bad. Jess can't do time math. It is probably my worst of the math, but I'm booked in for a haircut tomorrow, so need to possibly figure out what we're gonna do with the mop, but that's a tomorrow me problem. For now, Vogel and I are going to go to bed because we are both well and truly zonked, so good night. Good morning. Happy Friday. First of all, I cannot believe that it is Friday. I woke up this morning thinking it was Thursday. I'm like, oh cool, yeah, we've got Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, like 4 days left, plenty of time for the week. And I'm like, oh no, we're actually past the halfway point and there's still things to be done. One thing that sadly did not get done yesterday was preparing my overnight oats. So I have the base ingredients just sitting in the cupboard waiting for me. Not that you can see them past the snacks. There they are. But they're not made up. So I'm gonna make those up now. They'll be good for tomorrow and the day after, but yeah, no overnight oats for breakfast this morning. I'm sure I can figure out something else to have, but neat. Proof that I have now actually prepared my overnight oats for tomorrow, so tomorrow Jess can have the breakfast that today Jess wanted. And I actually have Oaty breakfast muffins, so I'm just gonna have one of those. Breakfast had back at my desk now. Notably, the schedule that I had for myself this week, well, I already knew it wasn't going to be the perfect schedule. I knew it was not going to go according to plan 100%. That was fine. But it has gotten a little bit mixed around and stuffed up a little, especially because today now I have an additional appointment that I didn't think I was going to have. And with Wednesday starting the Midweek Mafia hangout a little early, it meant that the stuff I had scheduled but then didn't really happen. And the internet issues on Tuesday. Wow, okay, yeah. The schedule I started this week with is not the schedule that I'm sticking to. That's okay because we can rebuild. We have the technology. So I've just moved over another hair appointment to this block here, and currently we're sitting in the kind of day prep region. So I have, what, 1, 2, 3 hours-ish until the hair appointment. And that is not right because I put the hair appointment at the wrong point. There we go. I have 2.5 hours. I'm like, that math ain't mathin'. But in terms of getting stuff done in here, we do have stuff like doing my digital backups, household tasks, quarter 4 planning, and also the newsletter writing. I feel like the newsletter writing is probably the most important one to start with because it's supposed to come out today, but I'm going to try and make that one a short one. So we'll put that one down for an hour. In terms of household tasks and digital backups, I think I'll do those when I get back from the hair appointment. And then after the newsletter writing, doing some work planning would be good. And after that, if I have any extra time, I'll do more goal setting, or should I say goal planning. So we'll put that one in yellow. The thing with making the schedule at the start of the week is that I always go into it knowing it's not going to turn out exactly that way, and that's fine. And that's also in part why I make it in Excel rather than on Outlook, because it's a lot easier to just like color in a block on Excel and change the wording in it rather than having to go into individual events in Outlook and rearrange those. For now though, it's time to get started on the newsletter. Quite surprisingly to me, I set a time estimation for the newsletter and actually stuck with it. So it has been an hour, that one is typed up, ready to go, like scheduled for sending out, which might be the quickest I have ever written a newsletter, which is also kind of impressive. But for now, I haven't actually written myself a task list for the day, so I want to do that and then get started on other things. I have the start of a daily list, but what I think I want to do is go back to my overall plans for the week and just focus on one area at once. It'll be a little bit better that way, I think. So I'm going to do work, given the fact that I was just doing work. Might as well continue and finish this list off. And then I think I'll move on to digital. For my work reset, given the aim of the game is to get cool, calm, and collected for quarter 4, for me, that's really just knowing what kind of things are going to be coming out in quarter 4. So what do I want in terms of video content? What do I want in terms of newsletters? It doesn't need to be 100% set in stone or anything, but having some general kind of scaffolds or ideas in my content planner, very helpful for a cool, calm, and collected Jess. I just organize all this information in Notion, so you can see that we have a bunch of little blocks on here for a variety of different things. This is in no way complete, but it is also a collection of not just videos, but also other stuff. So membership perks and the newsletter and book club stuff. I like to put them all in here so that then I can see all at once what's going on. My dreams of an outside walk have been dashed. And I also have to go out for my hair appointment. I'm gonna get rained on. It'll be fine. I'm just a little frustrated. But the work scheduling is going fairly well. I only have a couple more slots that I need to go and fill in until I'm kind of satisfied. I haven't planned the entire of the quarter out, but I've planned at least October. That's what counts. I'm really looking forward to my haircut just because my hair is getting to that length where it's just a little annoying. Like, I do enjoy having long hair, but I never really do anything with it. Especially after having grown it out for so long for the wedding, because I wanted longer hair for my wedding. I just think it'd be nice to have something a little different. We'll have to wait and see what I pick though. Notably back to the same place as yesterday, got a decent chunk of it lopped off, and look! Little bounce. She put a curl in it. I'm feeling very fly. More so I'm just trying to get used to the fact that my part is in a slightly different place, because while this is the same, I usually part across that way because I don't know how to part my hair properly or something, because most people just go straight back. This is going to take some getting used to, but I am enjoying it so far. Anywho, back home so that we can do some more resetting. I'm really glad I got home when I did because I wouldn't want my new hair to get all rained out. It's feeling bouncy and cute. Up next is going to be my development section, so making my quarter 4 reading plan and picking my self-improvement routines for quarter 4. These are essentially the habits that I want to keep track of, so things that I want to do daily or weekly to, you know, better myself or work on my goals. Usually it's related to working on my goals, which are also usually related to bettering myself, so they're all kind of related to each other. When I made my reading plan for quarter 3, I picked 3 specific books that I wanted to read, and I didn't read any of those ones. I read other self-help books, but I didn't read those ones specifically. So I thought that this time around, instead of specifically saying like, these are going to be the ones that you read, I was going to pick out maybe 5 to 10 options just to kind of narrow my focus a little bit and pick from that list. I'm just going to set that list up in Goodreads because that's where I keep my regular TBRs and stuff. And that would also be the place that I would be most likely to go and look for that information. So it makes sense to keep it there. That's one of the things that I very much try to do, like in considering where to keep any piece of information, where will future Jess most likely go looking for it? And anything reading related, books related, I typically go to Goodreads. I've given myself a list of 10 books that I'm currently interested in. All of them are non-fiction, all of them are kind of like self-help in some way. But we have books on time, stoicism, essentialism, or kind of like getting rid of stuff that you don't need. I have a few books on my list in that category. communication, getting things done, all of that kind of thing. In fact, I should probably actually add the book Getting Things Done to this list because I've been meaning to read that for a while. In terms of turning this into a reading plan though, I essentially just want to read one non-fiction self-help type book per month because there are plenty that I want to read. Like, this is just 10 of the ones that I've said that I'm genuinely interested in. I just find that time and time again, I say I'm interested and then I never end up reading them. As part of reading the self-help books, I also want to make sure I'm taking notes and considering how I can apply them to my life, because it's all good and well to read something, but if you're not actually doing anything with that information, like in particular for this genre, right? Like if you want to read a fiction book and then not do anything with the information, that is fine. But the reason that I read self-help is for learning purposes and to hopefully better myself in some way. So making sure there's also the follow-up of take the notes, apply the learnings and all of that, that's kind of important. In terms of making the reading plan though, having those ones in that list means that I have some options to pick from, and that is enough of a plan for me right now. I also find I'm quite a bit of a mood reader, so it's all good and well to say you will read this book, then this book, then this book, but realistically, October Jess doesn't care about September Jess's plans. October Jess will want to read what October Jess wants to read, and now she just has a more targeted list to pick from. The next item though is to pick out my self-improvement routines for quarter 4, or the habits I want to build, and for that I'm going to need to consult my goals list. In terms of goals that actually need routines, it's mainly going to be about health and well-being, but also reconnecting with my creativity, so that one's going to be a weekly routine rather than a daily routine. In selecting my goals for quarter 4, I was quite mindful of the fact that the ones I struggled with the most in quarter 3 were those kind of routine ones that require consistent effort over longer periods of time, and given that quarter 4 is as busy as it is, it just made more sense to lean more into kind of project style goals, or ones that are kind of very finite, they have an end outcome that can be achieved in a very specific and shorter amount of time, as opposed to those like long-term building type goals like health, well-being. I think the ones that are going to be the most important are getting up with my alarm so I make the most of my mornings, setting my daily highlight or the main thing I want to work on each day, having some intentional leisure time, and also tracking my food. I would put daily exercise on here, but I've been pretty consistent with that and I don't feel the need to track it anymore, even though I am going to still be doing it. It's not a long list of routines, but it is sufficient for what I want to get done. And now as the world is sunny as heck, I'm thinking we might go out later for a walk, because it would be kind of nice. For right now though, I'm going to move on to my digital tasks, and inbox 0 sounds like the least appealing thing in the world, so we're going to do the file backups and removing folder entropy. This is essentially just getting rid of any clutter that has built up in those folders. So for instance, all of those files that I've saved to the desktop because I needed them in the moment, but they don't really need to be there anymore, we can get rid of those. Typically this would also include anything kicking around in the downloads folder, but I did that earlier in the week to do current me a favor. This one's a nice easy task, so I just put on a YouTube video and got to sorting out my digital files. Those files are transferring across now, and I've gone and cleared out the 3 main spaces I wanted to, so downloads, desktop, and documents folders. But what I've realized is that I have not gone and scheduled events on our Discord for quarter 4, and that definitely needs to happen. 1, so people know in advance that things are happening, and 2, so future Jess doesn't have to be stressed about doing it because she didn't do it earlier. We're doing future Jess a favor here. There we go, those ones are in there now up until the end of the year. And I also went and scheduled the next 4 weeks of accountability posts and epic goals. Still need to do those for the rest of the quarter, but that's not a right now problem because one of the main parts of Reset Week is rest, and I'm thinking that I need some of that. Ideally, I was hoping to take 2 full days off from work this week, one of those being today. That didn't quite happen, considering I've been working at least for the kind of start of the day or whatnot, but I want to spend the rest of the day just kind of going downstairs, getting a little cozy, doing some gaming. It's been a hot minute since I did any gaming, so it'd be nice to get back to Assassin's Creed Valhalla. And I'm trying not to let me talk myself into filming a video because I'm like, your hair looks nice, you should do something for the channel. I'm like, no, Reset Week is about resetting and recuperating your energy, and gaming time will do that for you. To make my gaming time feel extra special though, I think that I'm going to make a lavender lemonade. My lavender lemonade is literally you take some lemonade, you know, the fizzy carbonated kind, and you add lavender syrup. Super simple stuff. We are now ready for gaming, chilling in my cozy corner in the den of solitude, got my drink, got Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and we're ready to go. Gaming is going well, but obviously I needed a rest more than I realized because I started to fall asleep, and now Vogel's come down because he's finished work and he's like, oh yeah, let's go for our walk. I'm like, meh, just want to have a nap. But I know a walk will be good for me. I got off the couch, ready to go for a walk. Despite the fact that it was chilly, the walk was actually quite pleasant. It is now over, we have had dinner, we are watching an episode of Stranger Things, and then maybe some more gaming time. I'm thinking that I might try and get an earlier night tonight though, because with the consistent waking up way before my alarm, like in the 6 a.m. zone rather than the 7 a.m. zone like I usually like, I think that getting an early night and getting some more hours of sleep would do the body good, and the mind, and everything else. Got distracted by reels and started watching all these best friend reunion videos, and I'm just like, oh my god, they're so cute. And then I sent it to my best friend and told her, shame that we're never going to be able to do this because I'm never going to let you move that far away. I had some more gaming time, but now I'm feeling like getting into bed, and I'm going to see if I can convince Vogel to come join me and we can watch another episode of Stranger Things. We were going to wait until 10, but I'm so tired. But I also want to watch another episode of Stranger Things, so compromise?
Vogel, come watch TV with me.
Yay, in the bed. I have my 5-year journal so I can do my entry for today and yesterday and maybe the day before. I don't know, she's been neglecting it. I think it's the 26th. It is currently the 26th. I have to do 26, 25, and 24. So only 3 days. My memory goes back 3 days. Or at least well enough that I can figure it out. I don't want to say broken my routine around filling this in each and every day at the end of the day. I would like to get back on top of it, but I have technically not missed any days apart from the last 3, which I'm just about to fill in. Essentially, I just have 3 lines for every day for 5 years, so I'm on my 3rd year currently. It was only supposed to be 1 episode, but we are who we are, so it ended up being 2. Disappointed.
My back hurt.
Whose fault is that?
Mine.
But it's all good because now as it's like 11:40, we're going to sleep.
We started it so we could watch it slow before season 5. We are failing that mission. It's too good.
Yeah, I have a sneaking suspicion that we're gonna get to the end of season 4 with a decent amount of time before we're starting season 5. But it's cool, at least we'll be ready in advance. For now though, I would love to get some sleep, and I really hope the body doesn't wake me up before 7. To be seen. Anywho, good night.
Good night.
Good morning, happy Saturday. As to be expected, the body has no regard for timing, so it woke us up earlier than I would have liked. Anyway, I have my overnight oats, which I missed from yesterday, so I'm very excited about that. But more excitingly, today is a day off work. I do this because I'm still going to respond to comments because I have a video release that came out today, so I like to respond to comments when we have a video release day. But in terms of like, sit at your computer several hours at once, work, not so much. What I do want to do though is start to look at some of the tasks that were supposed to happen earlier in the week, but they just got put off. In particular, I'm thinking the ones related to home environment. So this is things like my office space, making that kind of like reset, refreshed, mainly just putting things away, and also just going through and clearing out any clutter hotspots that we have in the house and getting rid of rubbish. I don't foresee that taking very long, but it is a task that I know I will put off if I let myself. So essentially what I'm hoping to do is 1, finish my breakfast, 2, brush my teeth, and then 3, do the office first, because I think that getting this space tidy will leave me feeling a lot more positive. This corner of boxes and such is one of the big problem areas. Most of these boxes are empty, some of them aren't, and thus things need to be put away. And then I also have the clutter sitting on top of my drawers. And then we also just have regular desk clutter that needs to be taken care of too. Here I'm doing some research around YouTube lighting because I want to change up my background. And that's part of one of the goals that I have for next quarter, which is rearranging my office space again, because I might be addicted to it. It's just that this arrangement isn't quite working for me and I feel like a change up. In order to actually do that though, the office space needs to be tidy, and that's why I want to make sure it gets tidied today. Essentially, I don't want to leave that to tomorrow, Jess, because she has other things to worry about. Breakfast, done. Teeth, done. And now it's time to tidy the office. I have a live stream that's happening at 8 a.m. my time, so in about half an hour, 35 minutes-ish. Not a stream I'm doing, a stream I'm watching. And I want to watch it, and I want to watch it without having to be tidying my room at the same time, so let's get on to it. The office is looking much better now, especially the box corner. And the desk is mostly tidy, or at least tidy enough that I can actually function in it. We have just under 4 minutes left until the stream starts, so I'm gonna empty the recycling because it is full. In terms of the boxes that didn't belong in the office, they need to actually go to the recycling center, so they're just sitting in the hallway for now. And these items just belong elsewhere in the house. I'll put them away after the stream. During the stream though, because I just want to sit there and be very chill, I'll probably just get out my goal planner and do some more goal planning, because I know how important it is for me to hit the first of the new quarter or new cycle or whatever with my plans in place. I'm going to be a lot more productive if I have them ready. Let's go! Oh yeah! I'm also trying out my new water bottle today. It's interesting getting used to a different straw because the one I have in my other bottle is quite a bit larger, so the water comes out slower from this one. The live stream is over and I have about 6 goals left to plan, so I'm probably just gonna sit here, listen to some music and get that done, because if I leave it till tomorrow, I know that something else is gonna pop up and I'm not gonna get it finished, and then I'll get to Monday morning and I won't have my plans in place. And that's not to say that we need complete plans. They do not need to be 100% fleshed out, but I do need to have at least like the first week of the quarter knowing what I need to do so I can actually do it. Also just taking a second to appreciate how much less buffy my hair is. Like this is it drying, you know, air drying naturally or whatever. The other day it was like, and today it's like, it's not like, you know, perfectly smooth or anything, but it is distinctly better. To the extent where I might actually consider air drying my hair without tying it back every single morning like I have been. Today I just wanted to test it out and see how it looked, but anyways. So the goals have been planned. Some of them have quite extensive lists. In fact, this digital declutter one, I probably should have put on a double page spread because there are quite a few areas I want to digitally declutter. It's not just like computer files, it's restructuring the computer folders and my external hard drives and my online spaces in general, like going out and clearing out caches for video render files and my internet browser. Also deleting bookmarks that I don't need, going through my password manager and making sure that they're all still accounts that I want to access and whatever. That's not a right now task though, it's more so just I wanted to make it that the plan for that was as thorough as possible so I know what needs to go into it. Similar idea with all of the goals and projects that I'm going to be working on, but still. Having them actually in the journal makes me feel much better, and also maybe just like a little bit overwhelmed. I don't know, maybe I'm like the right amount of whelmed. I am whelmed by the amount of work that is going to be done in quarter 4, because I know that come the end of quarter 4, I'm going to feel so dang accomplished. Like we're getting to the end of quarter 3 and I'm feeling very accomplished from quarter 3, which is a really nice feeling, because getting to the end of quarter 2, I was not feeling accomplished. I was feeling like a sad, scatterbrained mess. Just very down on myself, like, oh my gosh, you know, you said all these things were important to you and you're not making any progress, yada yada. But coming to the end of quarter 3, that is not the case. Anywho, we're not talking about that right now. Now as my goals journal is populated though, I want to take the information from there and use it to populate my new journal setup. Despite initially thinking that this journal was going to last me 6 months, foolish Jessica, it is not, and thus it is going to be finishing up at the end of quarter 3, with this one being my quarter 4 journal. First of all, oh my god, it's gorgeous. Second of all, I'm just excited with this idea of having fresh start for each new quarter, so I'm thinking about going to a new journal for every quarter. For a B6 size, that works really nicely, but if I use an A5, that is a lot of space, so it might not work as well for that size of notebook. But I like the idea of it. I've set this one up already for quarter 4, but it hasn't been populated. So I need to jump in here, make sure that all of the layouts in the start of journal setup and in the, you know, October pages have actually been populated so I can hit the ground running come Monday. I've at least made a start on it. I've gotten actually a decent chunk of the way through. It's mainly these start of journal pages that some of them I'm not ready to move over yet. Some of them it's like you're gonna get populated throughout the course of using the journal. I'm feeling better about having my quarterly overview filled in, and yes, there is more detail I could add. Like I could go and add in like every Monday, this is when we have epic goals. Every Thursday, this is when we live stream. But I kind of only want the one-off items in here rather than the this happens every week kind of events. It's another nice day outside, so Bogle and I are thinking about going for a walk. But before that, we're gonna have lunch. I have actually been finding that this water bottle has been working quite well. I think in part it's just nice to be able to say, yes, I got to a liter of water because the bottle only holds a liter. I mean, I'm not there yet, there's still a little bit left, but I feel like I've been drinking more water because of the bottle. And I found that last time I got a new bottle as well. There's something about the newness of a new water bottle that makes me more excited about drinking water. And I don't want to go and buy a new water bottle every single time I start finding I'm not drinking enough water. I mean, like, yeah, that's a strategy, but I don't don't really want to employ that one, but maybe switching between this one and the other one so I get kind of that new feeling, even though it's a bottle I've already used before. So if this one starts to feel a little stale and a little and I'm not really drinking my water, maybe I'll go back to the other one. Or maybe I'll try it in a fancy cup with a nice straw or something. Just an idea for a future Jess needs a little bit of help with her water drinking. For now though, let's go have some food. For lunch today, I'm having Snackle Plate, which was the lunch I planned to have every day this week and haven't done yet. So I'm kicking that down the road. That's gonna be my lunch for next week. It's very easy to prep, but in particular, I think that if we go back into the lore, the history of Snackle Plate, or at least my Snackle Plates, it pretty much consistently had been an apple, pretzels, and then some kind of sweet treat, usually chocolate. Not very much of it, but that's what it would be. I want to make it a little bit healthier, so I'm going to be doing pretzels, apple, staples, and then chocolate eggy pudding, which is effectively a chocolate pudding, like a chilled chocolate pudding, that's made of eggs. And I know, you're sitting there thinking, ew, that sounds feral. It's actually quite tasty, and once you, like, hard-boil the eggs, chill them, blitz them with all of the other ingredients and such, you don't really taste the egg. Like, if you're really, really paying attention to it and concentrating, you can taste it, but it's actually quite tasty, as far as a sweet treat goes. Well, as far as a sweet treat that is not so bad for you goes. Anywho, Bogle and I are going to go for a walk now because the weather is nice. Yay! Walk is over, very pleasant, nice weather, except for a little bit blowy. But that's cool, it's been done, we kept the streak alive, and now it's time for cozy gaming with Vogel.
I gotta set up.
Yay!
It was a drama, but we got there.
You did it.
Our game social is going very well. I'm having more fun today on my game than I did yesterday, mainly because I'm not falling asleep this time, which is a plus. It's pretty much time for dinner though, so we're gonna watch another episode of Stranger Things, have some chill time on the couch, and then probably get back to gaming. I'm hoping that I can also get some downtime into my schedule tomorrow because I'm gonna have to do meal prep and a couple other admin bits and pieces to get myself cool, calm, and collected, because that's, you know, the reason for the season, or at least the purpose of reset week. But more than anything, I'm just curious to see what time I get up tomorrow, because our daylight saving time switches over this evening, like overnight. It means that the 6:15 a.m. that I got up today would actually be 7:15 tomorrow. So I'm curious to see, do I get up at 7:15, like the same time? Or is the body like, haha, psych, I'm still getting you up at 6:15. We had some more gaming time, we had some more Stranger Things time, and now it is time for bed. Fingers crossed for a good night's sleep. Good night. Good morning. Happy Sunday. As expected, the body woke us up at the same time as yesterday. So 7 a.m. today, but 6 a.m. yesterday. That's all good because it means that we are ready, well, ready-ish, haven't had breakfast, but ready-ish for book club meeting. This one's our fully online free book club, which is a lot of fun. It's really just nice to get to discuss the books that we read together, because I find that just like enhances my experience with any book, even a book like this one, which I didn't particularly enjoy, but I know that other people in the book club have been really enjoying. That's another thing I really like about the book club, because all opinions of the book are welcome. It means that we can get some really good discussion going. So I'm interested to see how everybody found it this time. Outside of that though, on the cards for today, it is really just those kind of like final resetting tasks. One of which is definitely meal prep, because I don't have any more overnight oats and I need more. I also need to make sure that I prep something for my lunches for next week, because this week lunch was not the best meal. I didn't make the best choices. Certainly made choices though. But in planning my Snackle Plate a little more thoroughly, so I will actually have elements of it ready to go in the fridge, I think that I will be more successful at having Snackle Plate, because I do actually quite like Snackle Plate. I just need to have some parts of it pre-prepared, otherwise it doesn't happen. I also have a couple tidy up tasks I want to do, and I also need to make sure that I finish populating week 1 in my journal so that I can hit the ground running. But I think the most important first step is breakfast and a list. The list is written. I have some more space just in case I think of more things, but the main thing I really want to do before the book club meeting is finish populating my new journal. I made pretty okay progress on the weekly dashboard, but in terms of my little project lists, in particular office revamp for week 1, I need to go and populate that stuff. Plus it would also be good just to make sure that I've gone and put in the things I need to for the start of journal setup. Despite mainly doing that yesterday, I also got very distracted, so I'm going to spend the next 40-ish minutes doing this before our meeting. I've not done a complete job just yet, but it's looking better than it was. And now it is time for book club. As somebody who has like real problems and who wants to solve those through my reading, I found this book to be I don't want to say like a waste of my time, but when I was reading it, I constantly was brought back to, I could be doing something better with my time. The book club meeting went really well. It's always nice getting to discuss with people about the books we've been reading. And for October, our book is A Witch's Guide Magical Innkeeping, which I'm quite excited for. I think it's supposed to be a cozy fantasy, which should be fun. If you wanted to join the book club, we would love to have you. There's a link in the description box to where you can check that one out. But for now, given the fact that it is 11 AM, the day is getting on. Slowly but surely, and I think that it would be good to go and start on my meal prep, because if I can get that out of the way, like, it shouldn't actually take that long, and then hopefully I can spend the majority of the afternoon doing restful activities. Done. It took way less time than it often usually does, probably because I was making 3 overnight oats and some eggy puddings, which is pretty simple. So it's now just a little bit to 11 and thus time to do something else. That's not the right time, is it? It's probably a little bit to 12. Yes, can confirm it is 11:54. Need to fix that.
Much better.
Now as I've prepped my week 1 meals though, I kind of want to go and find some more options for quarter 4 meals. Mainly because especially towards the end of this quarter, things were feeling a little stale and we're moving into a new season. So, you know, new seasonal produce is available and such. It might be nice to kind of lean into that a little more. Just like update what I could possibly put into my repertoire. A website I've been quite liking is called Pinch of Yum. They have some at least very good looking recipes. And I also appreciate that they have them grouped by season, so I'm going through all of the spring ones, because despite the fact that I would love it to be autumn here, it is not. They also have a meal prep section, which is very helpful, because that's kind of what I'm looking for. I will probably also use the website during quarter 4 when I'm trying to endeavour on making new to me meals, because I would like to bring some newness into the meals I'm making for myself. We've gotten a little bit stale with things. I've actually already picked out one new recipe that I'm going to be making next week. It's a soba noodle salad, which sounds really good. But in looking through the meal prep ones here, I'm hoping to find at least 4, maybe 5 different lunches that I could try. That would be a very comfortable number to have. Alright, the ones that I found I'm a little curious about are the roasted veggie grain bowl with balsamic dressing, the sheet pan chicken tinga bowls, the summer quinoa salad jars with lemon dill dressing, because I'm heading towards summer, the roasted vegetable bowls with green tahini, couscous salad with lime basil vinaigrette, sheet pan chicken pitas with tzatziki, cilantro lime chicken and lentil rice bowls, basic and awesome chicken quinoa salad, sesame noodle bowls, and the lemongrass vermicelli salad. Or vermicelli. Vermicelli? Vermicelli. Noodle salad. I'm not too sure about the extent to which they are meal prep friendly. Like, they're all in the meal prep section, so there's at least some aspect of it that is meal prep friendly. But I don't think all of them are like mixed together in a bowl, shove in the fridge, and then get it out later in the week. It might be like, you know, store these ingredients separate and combine them on the day. But I'm gonna go add those into my ideas space on Notion for recipes, so that then I have them saved, and then I can just pick and choose which ones I want to tackle each week for my meal prepping. I've gone and put all of those in the ideas section of my recipe Notion space. And I also took the opportunity to update my wish list in there because my birthday is coming and I've already started getting questions about prezzies. And I never really know what I want. So having the wish list there, so as I find things, I can put it on there, just helps me out a little bit. For now though, I'm gonna go do a little bit of retail therapy on Journal Say, and then it'll be time for gaming with Vogel. Retail therapy isn't something that would usually be part of Reset Week, but it felt kind of fun to do it, so at least the fun was there. Definitely looking forward to actually getting the items, but now I'm gonna go downstairs, maybe grab some lunch and just hang out with Vogel. We think that this afternoon we're just gonna do more kind of cozy gaming time, which I could definitely use, because after waking up as early as I have for as many days as I have, paired with not going to bed at the best time to kind of account for that, I am a little bit tired and I want to start tomorrow feeling refreshed. So I kind of just want to take a really chill. This is lunch for today, mainly because tomorrow I'm recommitting to actually trying to be a little bit better with my nutritional value for lunches. And also, it's warm and I would like something cozy. It has corn, so like, that's a vegetable. I can see at least 3 dots of green. Pretty sure that's parsley. Totally counts. Lunch has been had, we watched an episode of Stranger Things, and I got my walk in for the day, so the exercise streak has been kept alive. That does mean that I did exercise for the entire of our Q3 Change Your Life Challenge. Every single day. Got my steps in or did exercise in one form or another. Actually, only one of those days wasn't a walk. It was my wedding day. It was dancing. For now though, it's time for some cozy gaming. We're going to be playing Spider-Man and Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I do want to play Spider-Man at some stage because it does look like a lot of fun, but not right now, because right now I want to play Xbox. Yay! Vogel and I have had a very good afternoon doing our cozy gaming, but now we're going for other cozy activities. In particular, we wanted to go get good pizza for dinner, but the issue is the good pizza is in town. They don't have a great seating area in the establishment to sit and eat. And by the time we get home, the pizza cools down enough that it's like not as good anymore. So we've got our drinks. We're gonna go and order the pizza and then sit in the car and eat the pizza. He's downloaded something for us to watch on his iPad, so it's kind of like date night in the car. It should be good. The download didn't work, but that's okay because I can hotspot you. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
You excited?
Yep.
Yay. So we got our pizza. It's looking very tasty. We're gonna have our little bit and piece to watch. And we're just gonna have a little cozy time in the car.
Yeah.
After our very cozy car date, we just headed home, had some more cozy gaming time, and now it's about 9:30, and honestly, I'm ready for bed. I am so tired. But I also think that given the fact that I'm listening to the body and I'm getting into bed at a more reasonable hour, I'm gonna get better sleep and feel better rested tomorrow. That's the plan at least. Did I get everything on my Reset Week plan done? No, not quite. In particular, I didn't get Inbox 0 done for any of my inboxes, mainly because doing Inbox 0 is a soul-sucking task, and I wanted this week to feel restful and restorative, not energy-sucking. I also totally forgot to have an everything shower and do dry brushing, but given the fact that birthday week is coming up, I think I might just do those then. They feel like favorite things day tasks. I had initially planned to have a solo date, but because of the scheduling things that came up, like the internet going out and having to rejig my schedule with that, and then stuffing up the timing of my hair appointment, and then needing an additional hair appointment, and then I didn't quite get that one in, but it is still something I'd be curious to do at some point. I've been saying for many moons that I want to do a solo date and haven't quite gotten there yet. If you've ever done a solo date, you know, where you take yourself out for a date night, let me know how you did that because I'm very curious about the idea. This list is being put to bed though, and actually this entire journal is being put to bed because for Q4, I'm starting in my new one, which I am super excited about, and having it set up just feels so satisfying. I love the idea of being able to hit the ground running when it comes to a new week or a new quarter or whatever. So having my plans in here for week 1 in particular just feels really good. I'm also just really excited to be focusing on new goals, especially because with round 1 of Change Your Life, I was very much like locked in. These are the things I'm doing for the entire of the 3 months. Some of them were project based and, you know, those ones got completed a little earlier on, but a lot of them it was like routine building. This is the thing we're doing for the entire 3 months. For Q4 though, a lot of my goals are project based, which means I'm gonna have a lot of different smaller things to focus on. And then as I achieve them, it's gonna feel really satisfying along the way. That being said, I am also a little sad to see Q3 go, especially because I know how I was feeling at the end of Q2, and for a lot of Q2, I was feeling just really down and like I wasn't making any progress on anything and just in a kind of like life slump, honestly. And I feel like I've just gotten a lot of my enthusiasm back over Q3, like really committing to the things that I wanted to achieve and getting a good chunk of them done. Did I achieve everything? No, but in going through my reflection for my goals earlier this week, I felt very proud of myself with how many things I could write done next to. Sure, for some of them I've still got progress to make and I could have made more progress on some of them, but I'm feeling really good about what I've achieved over the past 3 months, and I'm hoping to achieve even more across the next 3 months. We are going to have a full video where I break down all of those goals and consider the progress I made or didn't make on each of them. That one's coming out next weekend. But the long story short of it is that I'm very pleased with what I've accomplished. Of course, we're going to have progress vlogs on the channel for the entire of Change Your Life round 2. So if you want to make sure that you don't miss out, be sure to subscribe to the channel. For now though, I'm going to go and get into bed and hopefully get a restful night's sleep before quarter 4 officially starts. So now for something completely different. In terms of that task excuse me, could have done that before I started filming, but I'm here now. Which means I have 2 hours left to get more work done. I am going to...
Oh my god, scare me!
Okay, I'm just about to get in the car and hurry up and open. I need to talk to the people. Rude. Of course, the rain started to kick in as soon as I started recording. 3 main spaces I wanted to, so downloads, desktop, downloads, downloads. Calm down. Go away. There it goes again, being a snake. I'm gonna like braid you into it or something. You know, new seasonal produce. Normally I just film the intro and outro together, but it'd be kind of nice if the outro showed that I did actually get my hair done. I'm very glad to end the week feeling a lot more cool, calm and collected, just ready to tackle everything quarter 4 has to offer. And given my goals list, that is certainly going to be a lot. Most excitingly though, our vlogging series is going to be continuing into quarter 4 with Change Your Life 2.0, or the second round of the Change Your Life challenge, and we would love to have you with us. If there's some kind of goal or project that you want to get done before the end of the year, I would love to work on it with you through our challenge. So to find out more details about how to get involved and joining our goal-getting community, this video is the next one to check out. In that one, we talk about how the challenge works and how you can use it to make the most of the last 3 months of the year. So click or tap on that one and I'll see you over there.